Welcome to New York's number 2 sports show. The New York Rangers have won 10 straight games, tying a franchise record. They beat the Philadelphia Flyers 2-1, and the star of the game is Matt Rempe. Not only did he get into a fight, which we've become accustomed to with Rempe in, 4 games into his NHL career, but he gets the game-winning goal, his first NHL goal, in the third period to give the Rangers a 2-1 lead, and they would win by that 2-1 score. And it was an ugly goal. It was a goal where he was just standing in front. It seemed like it deflected off him multiple times, like it might have gone off both of his legs. He even said after the game in an interview with Emily Kaplan that, and he was right, that it might be one of the ugliest first goals ever. But hey, it all counts the same. And the Rangers will head into tomorrow's game against the Columbus Blue Jackets in Columbus with a chance to break their franchise record. They'll be going for their 11th straight win. The Rangers have had 10 consecutive wins in a season, only 2 other times in their history, in 1940 and 1973. So this is no small feat. Igor Shesterkin was again tremendous, making 39 saves. It got close at the end. I mean, the Flyers, without Travis Konechny, really played very well. This Philly team, with John Tortorella as their head coach, is a really hardworking, very, I don't want to say annoying team to play against, but they are a team where I've had my doubts as far as whether they'll make the playoffs, but I think that they might. They might get that third Metropolitan spot. But Igor was really good, and that's been key in this winning streak, is he has really been the main proponent in them winning these games. And that's the thing. The Rangers, and I've said this, winning these low-scoring games, that is something that I think if you're to look at them and say, hey, they could be a team that can go places in the playoffs, you look to wins like that more so than the track meet, crazy high-scoring games, which, in my opinion, the Rangers tend to lose those games. When they can keep the scoring low, it's better. Now, this game, I thought the Rangers were a lot better in the Devil game than this one. Even though in both games the shot count was lopsided in the favor of the opponent, this game, I think Philly definitely deserved a better fate. The Flyers definitely deserved to at least get a point in this one. I think the Rangers, I think bad is probably a bit over the top, but they weren't great. They weren't so sharp, but they did what they had to do. The Ranger penalty kill, how many times were they on the PK? A good amount. Yeah, the Ranger penalty kill continues to do well. The power play for the Rangers has not been good. I'm going to continue to say that, but that is a good thing. So this 10-game winning streak overall, the power play has struggled. It's had its moments, but that's been a knock against the Rangers. They're very power play dependent, and that is true. And that is very true. And they are going to need that power play to perform in order to get where they want to get to. But what I like is that they've been winning without it. And so that's really good. But, Rangers and Flyers, nationally televised game. And it really, I think if you're just a regular hockey fan, I think you had a lot to kind of sink your teeth into, even if you're not, like I said, a Ranger or Flyer fan. So right away early in this one, and I thought the Flyers got off to, the first 3 minutes, the Flyers were the better team. But 3 minutes in, Matt Rempe gets into a fight with Nick Delorier. And Delorier is, over the last few years, he probably has the most fighting majors in the league. So I guess you'd consider him a heavyweight, even though in stature, he's a big guy. But Delorier is not afraid to drop the gloves. This is a great fight. This was definitely an old school type of bout between these two where they were throwing haymakers back and forth. I mean, you don't really see that anymore. And they both held their own. Look, I mean, Rempe's got the size, but he is, a lot younger than Delorier. Delorier a lot more seasoned. So I think they both were, held their own in it. But that definitely got the crowd going. It was a great way to start the game. And, I thought that Philly was the better team in the first. I mean, the Flyers, 18 shots to 9 in the first period. And look, the Rangers, out of all periods, out of the 3, the first period, overall this season has been the weakest one for the team. But they're able to come out of it scoreless. Within it, Lafrenière hooks Travis Sanheim at 7:42, but about 20 seconds later, during the Flyer power play, Joel Farabee interferes with Igor Shesterkin. So the issue there was that Igor lost his stick, and Farabee really didn't allow Igor to pick it up. So it becomes 4-on-4. Let's see here. 6. Right. Okay. So it's 4-on-4. And then at 10:48, after that concludes, Gustafsson high sticks Farabee, but the Rangers kill that off. So the Rangers penalty kill does a nice job there. And like I said, the score is, there is no score at the end of the first. And Shesterkin was really good. Quickly in the second period, Farabee back to the penalty box. He high sticks Fox at 51 seconds, but the Ranger power play doesn't do a whole lot. Then at 8:47, Garnet Hathaway is called for high sticking. It's a double minor as he high stick Keandre Miller. But the Ranger power play wasn't very good, although Lafrenière had a really good chance against Flyer goalie Sam Ersson, but, unsuccessful. And then the Flyers have an odd-man rush, and Artemi Panarin holds Cam Atkinson at 11:37. Those two were former teammates in Columbus. And so now it's 4-on-4 again. And on this 4-on-4, the Rangers score. At 11:56, it's Alexis Lafrenière, his 17th goal of the season from Trocheck and Miller. So Lafrenière scored a 4-on-4, if you remember, last game versus the Devils. I mean, it's good to see the results coming in for Lafrenière, where he was somewhat snake-bitten. Like, the chances have been there basically all season long. And for him now at 17 goals, that's good. And you're looking at someone that, what was his career? Let's see. What has his career high in goals been? 19. So he is, barring injury, definitely going to surpass that by a lot. It's been, such a better season for Lafrenière across the board. What sucks is that he really deserves to be in that first power play unit. And that's why I think the numbers are even better and enhanced, because it's not like he's getting so many power play points. And it sucks that, chances are he's not going to get that much time in the first power play unit. I mean, even though it has struggled, I'm not confident that if it did happen, I'm not sure if it would last. But anyway, nice back pass by Trocheck coming in with some speed, and Lafrenière rips it. It's one that Ersson probably wants to have back as it kind of goes through him. But again, he made that good save on Lafrenière soon before that. So Rangers take a 1-0 lead right there. And that would be the score at the end of 2. So 1-0 Rangers. And it's not as if you felt incredible going into the third, because, again, Philly had generally been, in my estimation, the better team. The Rangers had scored a 4-on-4 goal. So we go to the third, and right away in the third, at 2:36, it is a goal for the Flyers. They tie it up. Tyson Forster, the rookie, who I think he might have been out recently. I'm not sure. This might have been his first game back. But he scores his 11th goal of the season from Lawton and Sanheim. Really nice pass by Lawton behind the net. This began on a lost faceoff by Brodzinski. So the Rangers' faceoffs lately have not been good, where it was so good for a while. Lately, they're getting pretty pummeled in that area. I think Gustafsson and Schneider could have done better all the way around. Goodrow was on instead of Cooley, I think. So Igor did all he could. And again, it was a nice play by Lawton, but the Flyers tied up at 1. But then at 6:31, Matt Rempe scores his first NHL goal from Goodrow and Schneider. So what happens is Schneider takes the shot from the point, first deflected by Goodrow, and then Rempe standing in front, it goes off him, off of either one of his legs, both of his legs, and it just trickles by Ersson. So they weren't totally sure who the goal was, but definitely Rempe. So Goodrow actually almost did have his second goal of the season, but not to be. Rempe ties him in that category. So just incredible. How much did Rempe play? 5 minutes and 16 seconds. Crazy. He has the fighting major. He didn't play much, but when he was in there, he was noticeable. I think with him, it's a great story in so many ways. And I think that, look, he's probably worth having on the roster and inserting him in spots. But I don't foresee him being a regular in the lineup. I just don't, right? Even though this has been great, and like him and Edstrom have really given the Rangers bottom six a new look, and I'm definitely willing to continue with it. But I also am aware that I don't know. I think at best, just talking about Rempe, I think at best he's someone that in a playoff series, in a best of 7, that maybe if you just need a spark, he's in there, but you know he's not going to play much. So like the lines they haven't really been rolling 4 lines, and they've been juggled. You know, like you see VZ drop down to that 4th line a lot, but even beyond that, it's just, you know, because Edstrom only played 6-17. So the lines, there's not so much cohesiveness, but yet the Rangers are winning games. So it's working. But Rangers take a 2-1 lead there on the Rempe goal. Then at 8:58, Sean Couturier high sticks Fox. So Fox draws a couple of high sticks, but the Ranger power play doesn't score. And the Flyers had really good shorthanded chances. I think this is where Travis Sanheim had a breakaway. It was kind of a 2-0. I think he had Lawton trailing behind him, but Igor makes a great save. And then it gets nervous for the Rangers. At 15:57, Keandre Miller high sticks Couturier. But the PK does a really nice job. Where things get a little bit more hairy is once the Flyers pull the goalie and it's kind of in the waning seconds of the game, and they're able to survive it. I mean, there was a shot from the point, and it takes a bounce off the boards to Couturier, and he hits it off the near post. Igor was like kind of out of position, and it somehow didn't go in. So it's not to say that it was easy at all, but the Rangers are able to get the 2-1 win. Of note in this game, I thought Jacob Trouba had a really bad game. I am with Trouba. He is someone where I just think the minutes that he logs are just a little bit too much. Not to say, like, what he brings to the game is important, and I just wish it was more. So, look, let's see. How many minutes did Trouba play today? 24-21. That's crazy. That's crazy. And that is on the high side. But, like, for him, it should be more like 16 to 18 minutes. And even that might be kind of on the high side, but I understand it. And I actually think Braden Schneider, even though, you know, I didn't like the goal against, I didn't love, he was kind of out of position. But Schneider's kind of improved his game. Look, I'm not saying that Schneider should surpass Trouba on the depth chart. I just think that when I look at this team, and while I think that it's not like Trouba is some total bum, I'm not going to say that. But I think in the playoffs, he could be a bit of a weak link. Possibly. I could be dead wrong. You know, and maybe there's a part of me that looks back to that 2022 playoffs, that Tampa Bay Lightning series, that Game 3. Can't get it out of my head. But I think that with him, you know, I love the intangibles. I love the toughness. I love, you know, he has an old school mentality that you need, but I don't know. I think that he's dependent upon for big time minutes. I mean, he is on at the end of games. He is the one. It's usually like him and Lindgren are kind of like the D pair that's on at the very end. So, you know, we'll shove, you know, we'll push that aside for now and just enjoy this win. So the Rangers win a 2-1, 10-game win streak. They will leave today with the top points percentage of the league, regardless of any results that may happen. Now, because the Bruins happen to play the Canucks, they will not lead in points because obviously someone has to win that game, and both of those teams are behind the Rangers by 1 point. But like I said, they have a game in hand. They will have a game in hand on the Bruins, and then they will have 2 games in hand on the Canucks. So again, long story short, they will leave February 24th with the highest points percentage in the league, which again is kind of crazy considering how bad things were a month ago. To me, that seemed like it was an impossibility. And there will be a dip. That's just the way it is. Like, they will regress a bit, but now you have Columbus. So the Rangers play Columbus tomorrow at Columbus, and they play them again at MSG on Wednesday. And I think, so technically it's weird because usually with home and homes, you don't see that many days off in between, but I think it's the case for both teams. I don't think the Blue Jackets play in between either. They don't. So for both teams, it's a home and home, but it'll definitely be Jonathan Quick in net tomorrow. He hasn't played in a while. We have not seen him since that Montreal game, I believe. So, and in that game, he wasn't great. So something to just bear in mind, but I wonder, like, will it be on the Rangers' mind that they can break a franchise record? I'd have to think that it is. Look, obviously when they're in the game, they're not thinking about it, but I think that will be a talking point, not by Laviolette to the team necessarily, but they're aware of what is at stake. So whereas normally tomorrow's game, I think, is one that you maybe could lose. I don't know. But also what comes to mind in thinking about this is what the Rangers are. It's been a while since they've had that second of a back-to-back, but I think they're 9-0. In fact, the last game that was the second of a back-to-back started the winning streak versus Ottawa. So that's another thing to keep in mind. They are good in those second games. So every reason to believe they can win, but it'll be interesting to see. It's a big deal. It really is. If they can, extend this to 11 and break that franchise record, that is something. So they're able to come out of this one with a win. Tomorrow's game will definitely be more high scoring. And the Rangers have struggled with Columbus this year. That second game of the season, granted, Lindgren was out at Columbus. The Rangers lost. And then the Rangers barely beat Columbus at MSG in a shootout, where the Rangers tied it up really late on a Lafrenière goal, and then he won it in the shootout. So, it is a divisional opponent. I think that the Blue Jackets will definitely hold their own. I do. I think that I don't expect the Rangers to just blow them out by any means. I think Columbus will be ready to go. So, and I think that they're aware of it too. I think they would want to spoil the Rangers' party. So, but Rangers beat the Flyers 2-1. Matt Rempe, the legend continues. He gets into a memorable fight to start, and then to finish out, somehow, some way, gets the game-winning goal, his first career NHL goal, to help the New York Rangers beat the Philadelphia Flyers 2-1. And in doing so, extends their winning streak to 10 games, tying a franchise record.